Well, you guys, it's been a while since we made a video. Started a new job. Been doing a lot of training, spending more time with the family. Kind of put the car on the back burner. After the initial test drive, didn't turn out so well last time. You guys can see the car sitting behind me. Kind of set up for storage stuff. Was driving down the road, car shut off, wouldn't start. Then it started blowing the ignition fuse and the meter fuse. Started unhooking wires, trying to troubleshoot it, and we'll just show you guys where we're at with this thing. So I started by pulling the fuse block out, checking every wire and harness for a short. Couldn't find anything. I found the battery cable was loose, and one of the parts I had powder coated. They powder coated over where the ground goes. I ended up blowing every bulb out of this thing because the alternator spiked to 20 volts. Now, along with that, let me get in here real quick. You guys can see we have the dash all apart. I pulled the gauge cluster out because that was my next in line to check. I've got all the gauges hanging out of the dash. And replaced the headlight switch because I noticed once I pulled the headlight switch, the fuse wasn't blowing. So we pulled the switch out, put a new one in. Along with that, I took apart the old fuse block in here to see what it looked like inside, and I broke the fuse block. Well, I put a used junkyard fuse block in. Now we have no more popping of fuses. But current state of the car, every single bulb on the low beam side and the blinkers is having to be replaced now. So I went to my local O'Reilly's and we got all new bulbs. Just so for some people know, the low beam bulb was an H7. The reverse bulbs are 921s. And the front bulbs are 1157 NAs because they're amber. They're a twin filament bulb because it's a parking light and a blinker. And then the rearmost bulb, hold on guys, sorry about that, I've got a lot of crap going on here, is the 7440As. So these two go to the taillight, and those two go to the headlight. There is a taillight bulb in there, but they are still working, so we are currently redoing all the battery stuff, and then we'll probably get this thing over to the exhaust shop. I'm hoping I didn't burn up the ECU, and if I do, I have two spares. So here's where we're at. So this is your standard H7 bulb, but the crazy thing is, this plastic piece is just an adapter. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on guys, 1 second. So the H7 goes into this plastic adapter, which makes it fit the headlight housing. Now if you have a Protege, it only has a high-low beam. On the Protege 5 like mine, it has a high beam and a low beam separate. And you guys can see how that's blown. So we'll replace this one too. Alright, so you saw that we were having bulb problems, and I fixed the blinkers. Now we're putting in the new underhood fuse blocks, and that's mainly because all the fuses on the old one were broken. So we're going to bolt this in and mount it up.
And these are the old ones?
No, the old one's over there behind you, buddy. Pick it up. Show these folks.
Okay.
You can see
This is
had a couple cracks on some of these relays. So the relays are more expensive than a used fuse block. So, boom, easy. So we'll get this mounted, get it finished up, and then that'll be done. Put the dash back together and test fire it. So we replaced all the bulbs, and we're going to make sure we have all our blinkers now. We got low beams on both headlights now. High beams working on both. You guys can see we got, well, kind of see we got headlights going on. We had those. We were waiting for the blinkers to work because I didn't have a key. And then we should go back here. I got a lot of crap to clean up back here. So blinker works. And then we'll switch it to the right side. You can see how it reflects off the box. That works. And we'll go back up here. I also replaced the fuel regulator solenoid. It was leaking. A couple things left to do. Got to replace the rear struts, put in the rear strut bar, and then Brian is setting us a push button start, and we should be good to go. So this will conclude the electrical gremlins. I replaced both fuse boxes, put in fresh horns. Well, y'all, that concludes the electrical stuff. Thanks for watching. God bless y'all. Have a good day or evening.